My Weird School Special, Book Number 5, Back to School, Weird Kids Rule. Written by Dan Gutman. Pictures by Jim Palott. Chapter 7, The Buddy System. We piled back into the minivan and stopped for lunch. Pizza, yum! And then we drove to my favorite store in the whole world, Staples. I love Staples because they have rows and rows of pens and pencils and glue sticks, highlighters and notebooks and rubber bands and paper clips and everything else students need to do well in school. They even sell staples. Our school sent out a list of supplies we would need this year. There was a big sign on the front of Staples that said, "Back to School Sale." Staples is huge. When we got out of the minivan, our moms said Arlo and I had to use the buddy system to make sure that one of us, guess who, didn't get lost in the store again. You kids need to stay together at all times, my mom told us. Do you understand? Yes, I said. Arlo grunted. And to be safe, Arlo's mom said, I want you to hold hands. What? Arlo shouted. I'm not holding hands with a girl. AJ, said Arlo's mom with her hands on her hips. Arlo held my hand. Let's skip, I said. No. When we stepped on the rubber doormat and the front door of Staples slid open, it was almost like I could hear angels singing. There were school supplies as far as the eye could see. Crayons and calculators and clipboards and hole punchers and scissors and rulers and tape and glitter glue and post-it notes and lots of different colors, shapes, and sizes. I could spend all day here, I said. Our moms went to look at the office furniture. They told us again that we had to stay together and hold hands at all times. We got a shopping cart. Someday, when Arlo and I are married, we'll go shopping together just like this, except that Arlo will sit on a bench outside and wait for me to finish. That's what husbands do. Where should we go first? I asked Arlo. Home, he replied. Let's look at pens, I said, because pens are something you need every day at school. When we got to the pen aisle, a funny-looking man came over to us. May I help you? He said. We need to buy pens for school, I said. You're in luck, he said. My name is Mr. DeBakey. I'm a pen specialist. A pen specialist? I never heard of a pen specialist. Mr. DeBakey took a little box out of his pocket. May I suggest this Mont Blanc Meisterstück Classique writing instrument? He said. It's been engineered for precise handling and comfort, and it features a reliable swivel mechanism. As you can see, it has a beautiful jet black finish with 23-karat gold-plated trim. Wow, I said. How much does it cost? $357. $357 for a pen? Arlo shouted. You gotta be joking. I never joke about pens, said Mr. DeBakey. Look, we just need some plain old pens, okay? Said Arlo. Nothing fancy. Mr. DeBakey looked disappointed. Fine, he said. I believe a pen must be carefully matched to its user. I want you to be happy with your pen selection. So tell me, do you want ballpoint, gel, or felt tip pens? Ballpoint, I said. Do you want disposable or replaceable ink cartridge? Disposable, I said. Retractable point? No. Fine point, extra fine point, or medium point? Fine. Blue, black, red, or green ink? Blue. Papermate or BIC? They're just pens, Arlo shouted, rolling his eyes. It doesn't matter. This is dumb. Calm down, Arlo, I told him. You're causing a scene. Young man, I've spent my whole life studying pens, said Mr. DeBakey. Did you know that the ballpoint pen was invented by a Massachusetts man named John J. Loud back in 1888? Who cares? Said Arlo. You sure know a lot about pens, Mr. DeBakey, I said. Pens are my life. Let's get out of here, Arlo whispered into my ear. Mr. DeBakey is flaky. Arlo was probably right. I said goodbye to Mr. DeBakey and pushed the cart away from him. Perhaps you need some pencils, asked Mr. DeBakey as he followed us down the aisle. Not today, thank you, I said. Personally, I prefer new pencils with erasers at the end, Mr. DeBakey said, because that means nobody has ever made a mistake with them. It's sad when a pencil has its eraser all worn down. That means somebody has made a lot of mistakes. I don't like making mistakes. We don't want any pencils, Arlo shouted back at him. Leave us alone. As we walked away, Mr. DeBakey started crying. Come back, he sobbed. There's a lot more I need to tell you about writing implements. Mr. DeBakey was weird. We ran down the pencil and pen aisle with our cart and turned the corner to go into the next aisle. You'll never believe who we saw there. It was our friends, Michael and Ryan. They were with their moms. When he saw Michael and Ryan, Arlo tried to let go of my hand, but I held on tight because our moms told us to. I always follow the rules. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ and Andrea are holding hands while they buy back-to-school supplies together. They must be in love. When are you gonna get married? Asked Michael. We are not in love, Arlo yelled. We are never going to get married. Stop saying that. Calm down, Arlo, I said. You're getting hysterical. Ryan and Michael started singing that song that goes, AJ and Andrea sitting in a tree, Kissing. Arlo looked like he was going to explode. The seventh reason why I love school. Taking classes after school. What's more fun than going to school? More school, of course. After school is over, I take art classes and music classes and dancing classes and lots of other classes. I even took a class in juggling. Learning is fun. I wonder if it's possible to learn so much that your head explodes. I'm going to look that up in my encyclopedia. Chapter 8. Arguing with Arlo. We spent a long time going up and down every aisle at Staples. Our cart was almost filled to the top. These are some of the things I picked out. A box of crayons with a built-in crayon sharpener. A new cork bulletin board from my room. A school year calendar. A bunch of book socks. They're like socks for your books. A lunchbox with Crazy on it. He's my favorite singer. A bottle of hand sanitizer, because I don't want to get everybody else's germs. 2 pocket folders with pictures of kittens on them. I almost picked the ones with bunnies, but the kittens were cuter. Erasers, but I don't need many of those because I hardly ever make mistakes. A name badge, so it will be easier for everybody to remember my name on the first day of school. A notepad in the shape of a cupcake. It's adorable. A plastic organizer for my desk drawer. I love organizing things. It's fun to put different school supplies into separate containers. A new backpack. A tape dispenser in the shape of a high-heeled shoe. Oh, and a box of staples. I couldn't forget them. Look, Carlo, I said. They even sell laminating sheets. We can laminate things at home. Isn't that exciting? This place is a snooze fest, said Arlo. Can we get out of here now? Boys just don't understand shopping. We found our moms, and they paid for the school supplies. When we got home, Arlo parked himself in front of the TV, of course. I went to my room to organize my things. First, I removed all the tags from the clothes I bought and hung the clothes neatly in my closet. I organized the outfits in the order of which one I would wear on each day of the week for the first 2 weeks of school. Next, I lined up all my school supplies in alphabetical order. Lining things up is fun. Then I put all the school supplies into separate containers and stuck labels on them so I would know what was inside each one. I was all ready for the first day of school. My new clothes were hanging up. My school supplies were ready to go. My bedroom was neat and clean. I even looked up a bunch of words in the dictionary just in case I would need to know those words for the new school year. There wasn't anything else to do except sit around and wait for school to start. I went downstairs. Arlo was in the living room playing video games. Is that all you ever do? I asked him. Watch TV and play video games? I like watching TV and playing video games, he said. It's fun. Your problem is you don't know how to have fun. I do too, I told him. I have lots of fun. Yeah, you have fun organizing your school supplies. Actually, I do have fun organizing my school supplies, but I didn't want to admit that. I was tired of arguing with Arlo all the time. I went into the kitchen where my mom and Arlo's mom were drinking coffee, of course, and whispering to each other. They stopped whispering when they saw me. What are you whispering about? I asked them. Oh, nothing, they said really quickly. I'm bored, I told them. Why don't you and AJ go out to play? Said Arlo's mom. What? Arlo yelled from the living room. You mean play outside? Are you crazy? We could get hit by a tree out there, or get kidnapped, or sunburned, or a tree could fall on our heads. You don't know what might happen. It's dangerous out there. Don't be silly, Arlo, I told him. We could play hopscotch. Hopscotch is for girls. We could jump rope, I suggested. Jumping rope is for girls. It is not, I told Arlo. Professional boxers jump rope all the time to get in shape for their fights. They do not. Do too. Stop arguing all the time, Arlo's mom shouted. You two sound like an old married couple. Arlo and I were definitely getting on each other's nerves. We all were. It's hard for two families to live in one small house. Maybe Arlo's family should have stayed in a hotel after all. One time my mom told me about an experiment where some psychologists put a bunch of rats in a cage that was too small for them. After a while, the rats started getting sick, attacking each other, and eating their own children. Ew, gross. I certainly didn't want that to happen in our house. I would just have to try and get along with Arlo the best I could. So what do you want to do? I asked him politely. Let's watch TV. TV is boring, I said. Let's read a book together. Reading books is boring, said Arlo. Let's play video games. Playing video games is boring, I told him. Let's sing a song. Singing songs is boring. It is not, I yelled. Your face is boring. Mom, I shouted, Arlo is being mean to me again. She hurt my feelings, Arlo whined. Oh, come on, Arlo, I told him. You don't have feelings. I do too, he said. When I fell off my bike last week, I felt it. Stop fighting, my mom shouted. You kids are driving us crazy. That's it, said Arlo's mom. That's the last straw. What do straws have to do with anything? Arlo asked. We can't take it anymore, his mom shouted. We're sending the two of you to day camp for the rest of the summer. What? Arlo shouted. The 8th reason why I love school. I get to see my friends. Emily has been my best friend since we were in preschool together. We go everywhere and do everything together. Arlo and his friends tease her sometimes, but I would never do that because that's not what friends do. Chapter 9. Camp Okatolikwe. Day camp, Arlo shouted. We don't want to go to day camp. Speak for yourself, Arlo, I told him. Maybe I want to go to day camp. I used to go to day camp when I was little. We got to play sports and sing songs and go swimming and put on plays and make lanyards and pottery. I loved it. I'm going to add day camp to my list of things I love. It didn't matter what Arlo wanted anyway. Our moms decided they were sending us to day camp for the last 4 days of summer vacation. The next morning, they woke us up bright and early to drive us to camp. Our moms sat in the front seat. They looked really happy. Arlo and I sat in the back seat. He was scowling the whole time. I checked to make sure my bathing suit, notebook, camera, and other things were properly organized in my backpack. It took about a half an hour until we pulled into the parking lot at Camp Okatolikwe. That's what the sign said. I guess it's a Native American name or something. Bye, have fun, my mom shouted when we got out of the car. Don't forget to put on sunscreen. We'll pick you up at the end of the day, said Arlo's mom. They peeled out of the parking lot in a cloud of dust. They were probably going to go drink more coffee. A lady came out of the office. Well, she was really just a teenager. She had on thick glasses and was carrying a clipboard. You must be Andrea and AJ, she said. My name is Miss Janey. Welcome to Camp Okatolikwe. I'm going to be your counselor. Follow me. Let's go find the rest of our group. Miss Janey was nice. I loved her already. She led us past the soccer field and the swimming pool toward a big building at the other end of the camp. How come there's no water in the swimming pool? Arlo asked. Oh, we don't use the swimming pool, said Miss Janey. How come there are no kids playing on the soccer field? I asked. Oh, we don't use the soccer field, said Miss Janey. Are we going to play sports and sing songs and put on plays and make lanyards and pottery? I asked. No, we don't do those things at Camp Hockatoliquay, said Miss Janey. This camp is weird, Arlo whispered to me. Miss Janey opened the door of the building and led us down the hall to a room, and you'll never believe who was in there. It was our friends Emily, Michael, Ryan, Alexia, and Neil. The whole gang was there, and they were all wearing pajamas. Emily gave me a big hug when she saw me. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ and Andrea came to camp together. They must be in love. When are you gonna get married? Asked Michael. We had to come here together, Arlo told them. My family is living in her house all week. Ooh, AJ is living in Andrea's house, said Ryan. They must be in love. When are you gonna get married? Asked Michael. Well, I see you kids are already friends, said Miss Janey. I need to let the office know where we are. I'll be back in a few minutes. Miss Janey ran off. What are you guys doing here? Arlo asked. And why are you wearing your pajamas? It's pajama day, said Alexia. Every day is a different weird day here. Our parents couldn't stand us anymore, said Neil, so they shipped us off to day camp. Same with us, Arlo told them. All the cool day camps were filled up already, said Ryan. This is the only one that had room for us the last week of summer vacation. You gotta get us out of here, AJ, begged Michael. This place is horrible. What's so horrible about it? Arlo asked. Michael didn't get the chance to finish his sentence because that's when Miss Janey came back. I hear that you two are in the gifted and talented program at your school, she said to Arlo and me. Well, I think you're going to love Camp Hockatoliquay. I had heard of sports camps and chess camps and tennis camps and computer camps and even camps for kids who are overweight. What kind of a camp is this? I asked Miss Janey. You mean your parents didn't tell you? She replied. Camp Hockatoliquay is a back-to-school camp. We're going to get you ready for the school year. Arlo fainted. The ninth reason why I love school. We get to take tests. Tests are fun. They also help us understand what we don't know so we can learn those things and do better on the next test. I try to get all the answers right on tests so that I will become the high school valedictorian and get into Harvard someday.